Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs Podcast. Oh, boy, the home win streak is over. And, well, I don't know, maybe the division's getting a little bit tighter and the curse of the L flag, is it erased? Plus PCA's reaction to the crosstown curse out. CHGO Cubs. Therapy next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast presented by Bet365, where winning is everything, and Toyota. Let's go places. We are live from the Xfinity Loft. 9-3 Brewers. The 15-game home winning streak is over. Cubs have now lost 3 straight games. It's worse than that. The division's getting tighter. Fans are also getting a little bit tighter, I think, today, I might say. This was not a good one. No. Luke Stuckmeyer, Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman, and Sarah running the 1s and 2s.
Go Cubs.
Now, I was going to start the show by wishing Mr. Roman a happy birthday, but since he turned 65, the Cubs haven't won a game.
Overnight, you aged 20 years over the last couple days with this Cubs game.
Happy 65th. You look great.
I did not turn 65. For those scoring at home, I'm nowhere near that. And I'm going to say a little blurb really fast about my birthday, and then we'll just forget it.
Okay.
My birthday was yesterday. Thank you very much.
Yes.
My birthday was yesterday. Let me tell you guys that my birthday started in the morning coaching my son's travel team, and we got slaughtered.
Not good.
Not good. But I'm like, optimistic. I can watch the Cubs-Sox game. Also not good.
Not good.
So
and then you pushed it forward one day.
Yeah.
And not good.
Yeah. So, but thank you. I spent time with my family and my wife and my kids and my mom and the whole family. It was cool minus the baseball stuff. But thank you very much. Appreciate it.
This game was terrible. Shota picked a bad day to have his worst game of the season.
Yeah.
He sure did. Tough to pick through the pile of poop right now that is the Chicago Cubs over the last 9 games. They've lost 7 out of 9, and you have to ask yourself as a Cubs fan, it hurts a little bit more, right, because of the teams that they have played, right? They have a rough series. Look, you go to Texas, you lose an interleague game on the road, you lose a series, that's going to happen. You go to have an interesting litmus test with the Atlanta Braves, and frankly, the first 2 games, you don't play well at all. And in that third game, you scratch out a 2-0 win. You get on the plane. Woof, all right, we're heading home. Let's feel good. Able to get a win on Friday. And then the way that the weekend sort of collapsed against the White Sox, for a lot of people, especially people in the chat that are Cubs fans, that's going to hurt a lot. And then you come home to where you've won 15 straight at Wrigley Field against the Milwaukee Brewers, the team, the bane of our existence. When you wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweats as a Cubs fan, having nightmares, what are you having nightmares of? Sal Frelick slapping a double down left field. Balls finding holes through positioning. Like, the guys are positioned one way, the ball is going somewhere else. Andrew Vaughn getting a base hit off a 64-mile-an-hour exit velocity ground ball. And, Luke, man, you're right. Like, Shota, it's not that we needed him tonight, but it would have been really nice the way that he had pitched all season long to just continue that type of success against the Milwaukee Brewers. And there's no other way to say it. Total dud. I know that we're going to always look back fondly upon 2 10-game winning streaks, but it's over now, guys. We got to turn the page on that. This is a different team right now that is really struggling on every single level, offensively, pitching, bullpen, even like the guys that you can turn to, the reserves. I mean, everything's getting dried out a little bit, Luke. And it's just really, really tough to see. We're going to dive into, all the stuff with Shota Imanaga. But, man, 6 base hits tonight, over 100 miles an hour on the exit velocity, 2 home runs allowed. You can't have both of those, okay? You can have 2 home runs allowed because that's what Shota does sometime. Or maybe you can give up a bunch of singles and try and hold them at bay. You can't do both. 3 walks on top of it. And, man, that's a poop sandwich for you, Luke.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, he
Bad.
didn't have it. They hit him hard. They found places to hit it. The positioning of the players didn't seem to work.
Yeah,
There were multiple times where you're like, oh, I thought there'd be somebody there, but they were positioned somewhere else. So there were a lot of things that didn't go well. Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat. I see that Ron is saying, hey, they don't suck. This is just the way baseball goes, but also saying, wouldn't be surprised if they got swept. It is a roller coaster going down at the moment. There's no question about that. And no, I can't say that they had to have good Shota show up, the guy that's in a Cy Young competition, right? Like a running for Cy Young. But the way it's gone with this rotation, it's almost like every single time he pitches, it's that way.
You need to get a win, right?
Who's had a good turn lately?
Right. So it's like
Ben Brown.
I'm not saying it's he can't have a bad day, but he had a bad day at a bad time. Like I personally don't really care about losing 2 out of 3 on the way they did it yesterday against the White Sox.
Right.
Because I said last week, all I care about is winning 2 out of 3 at least against the Brewers. You've made that a lot more difficult with this game tonight because it just seemed like they didn't do anything well.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it funny how like numbers and perspective is everything? Like today was bad, and it was a game that I felt like you had to win because tomorrow's the Miz. So I would have rather had this first game, right? But like when you change your perspective a little bit, you know, this team is still in first place. This team can still win this series. This team in their last 16 home games is 15-1. Isn't that funny? Like perspective and numbers, like you can make it say whatever you want. It doesn't feel good right now. I'm really bummed out. I really felt like after they got their butts kicked in this weekend on the South Side, very entertaining series, by the way. And yesterday was a very entertaining game. I hate that we lost it, but actually I'm okay with that one versus just getting blown out on Saturday. I really thought they were going to kind of recalibrate and come out swinging. And Luke, you know for a fact, I was very adamant about that first inning for the Cubs.
Yep.
You know, you get the first 2 guys on via walk, and you got, you know, Bregman coming up, fine. He hits the ball hard to center field. Nico tags to third base. Now you have first and third with Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki coming up, and the crowd's just ready for something. They're ready for something, and just nothing. And I feel like, you know, we talked about, was it the 4th inning? Was it the yellow home run? No, I feel like the first inning, not scoring with that that gift of an opportunity, that is what set the tone for this game, and it's unacceptable. I just can't have Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki failing to score runs for us when they're sitting in the middle of our lineup. I think that right there set the tone for a really bad game.
I know you're a big believer in momentum.
Yeah.
Do you either of you guys think yesterday's walk-off carried over to tonight?
No.
I don't.
Okay.
No,
not at all. And
but
Sarah, let's get a Toyota Super Chat from Ron S. If you go up just a little bit, he was talking about the 20 for 23 that most recently
winning
happened.
20 out of 23.
And here's right, that we saw this coming. That's why the 20 out of 23 was so important. We knew they weren't going to keep that pace, just a nice cushion while it lasted. So yes, we can acknowledge that cushion exists. And the Cubs are going to need it right now because from my seat, and what's difficult about Shota tonight is that what Shota had been doing really well all season long is he had been avoiding hard contact. He had been staying effectively wild, if you will, and he was getting ground balls and he was getting swing and miss. None of that stuff happened tonight. And, of course, this is the Milwaukee Brewers, the team that keeps winning the NL Central every single year. Only 4 swing and miss tonight from Shota Imanaga. Again, as I mentioned, he walked 3 guys and was giving up contact all over the place. And the problem with it right now, Luke, is the chickens are coming home to roost a little bit with this pitching staff, right? Like, we said it a while ago on this show that the offense was going to have to carry the day. On a night when they're 0 for 9 at runners in scoring position, 7 men left on base, and Justin, you're right, especially that opportunity in the first, not cashing in, that has become a habit and a hallmark. But more importantly, even when those things have still been happening a little bit, the pitching has been somehow able to patch its way through in different moments. And what we've seen over the last week is that some mediocre turns from our starting staff, and we're having arguments about, why are we bringing Ryan Rollison into the game and what's going on with Phil May. The bullpen right now not only has been injured, Guys aren't in their roles right now. You have a closer that still can't pitch back-to-back days. It's all getting stretched really thin, and frankly, it probably should have happened a week and a half ago. So credit to the Cubs for getting this far with what they've had. Now you get Thielbar back. Maybe let's see what happens. It's a continuous cycle in a baseball season. It's a long season, and believe me, I'm upset tonight because of the way that the Cubs are playing right now over the last week. That doesn't mean that I don't have confidence about them moving forward, but in this moment, they're not doing what needs to be done. I just feel like that the getting spread a little thin with this pitching staff. I don't know, man. We're starting to see some of these pitchers turn into pumpkins a little bit, and the starting staff isn't helping them out, and it's putting them in a tough position on a daily basis.
The division lead is down to a half game.
Yep.
Now, let's be clear. I'm here for 162 games.
Yep.
As am I.
Same.
Right?
Same.
We're all here for 162.
See ya
1000%.
every week.
And they still have one of the best records in the National League, one of the
Second
best
best record.
records in baseball,
Yeah.
right? They're right there. But are there problems you can look at this team and say this has to be fixed? Yes. That pop up and continue to pop up? Yes, there are. The pitching staff, they're going to have to fix it at the trade deadline. They're going to have to because of all the injuries. I still think the biggest problem with the offense is what Ron's talking about. I don't see enough pop.
Yeah.
And so, yes, they got the 2 walks. But the station-to-station thing, while I love it, and you need it, especially in the postseason, and you need it when the wind is blowing in, tonight the wind is blowing out.
Yeah.
And you got one from Dansby, but you need to hit. This is a night where you need to hit 3 or 4 home runs.
Yeah.
Okay? Real teams hit. I'm not saying they're not a real team. Real competitive teams that are going to be there at the end need to have the slug to put their foot down. When a team walks the first 2 batters,
Yep.
you need a home run to drive those in and put a 3-0 spot, a crooked number on the board right in the first inning.
Yeah.
Look how much it changed the game against the White Sox both ways. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
3-run homers going back and forth, like it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to change a game completely when it's single, walk, sacrifice, fly. Not that it's not insignificant. Mm-hmm. It's not that it's not important. It is important. But the way baseball is played now is you got to have thump. And where is the thump? Where is the thump in the middle of the order? I know we will talk next segment. It's not there.
And to go even farther on that, if you look at some of the numbers just in the National League right now, you'd say that the Chicago Cubs are 4th in the National League in slugging. That's not bad. That's not a bad number. The home runs right now, they're 5th in the National League, but honestly, we're watching this on a day-to-day basis. That is a number that has been declining over the last couple of weeks. And
It's not going to be sustainable.
And here's the one that I keep harping on over and over again. Right now, they are 9th in the National League in doubles. They are 19th in Major League Baseball in doubles. And the reason why I keep harping on that is A, that is an aspect of slug. B, this team is built on base running and speed. When you get doubles, that's when guys score from first to second. That's when the first and second guys that are runners on base, you get a double, 2-run score on that too as well. It might as well be a home run. So if you're not going to hit the ball over the fence on a consistent basis, you got to get those doubles. What were the Brewers doing almost night long? Slapping balls down the left field line, and Ian Happ was trying to dig them out of the corner, okay? Like, that's a part of what the Cubs need to get back to, all right? I'm with you. Singles, base on balls, it's great. Justin, to your point, the 3-4 right now with Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki,
It's horrible.
It ain't working, guys. We got to break the dynamic duo up. We got to change that up a little bit. But it isn't just home runs for me. I think doubles is a big part of this team's identity. We're straight up not getting it right now, and they're suffering for it.
You know, and the crazy thing is, Luke, is like, you know, yeah, where are the homers? There was a stat. The Brewers aren't hitting a ton of homers, and they're a really good team.
Fewest amount of homers in the big leagues.
Yeah. So, I mean, like the Brewers, you can be a good team without completely being dependent on the home run. The Brewers are an example of that. We're an example of that because we get guys on base. And I said it earlier, we kind of talked about it early in the season when we were scoring these monster runs and everything. Yeah, we were. But we were leaving like 17 guys on base.
Yeah.
Multiple times. We're leaving 12 guys on base. We were winning those games, but we were leaving guys on base over and over and over again. It's like the hallmark of this team. There's another stat on Marquee today that said that we're like first in plate appearances with runners in scoring position. That's good.
They have a lot of them.
You're not getting the big hit, and that's bad. So, like, that's the thing is, like, I'm not so concerned about us not being the home run team. I think Michael Busch will start hitting bombs. I think Suzuki will start hitting bombs. I think PCA will start hitting bombs. I think Dansby will probably end up at about 25. But ultimately, we're just not getting the big hit. You can win without the home runs. Again, in our chat, people are drooling over the Brewers. The Brewers don't hit home runs. But you got to get the big hit, and that's where we're failing right now. Yeah, a lot of guys on base, but not getting the big hit.
Luke, they have a healthier pitching staff right now, but they still trail the Cubs in the standings.
And quick number for you right now. Runners in scoring position, 443 plate appearances for the Milwaukee Brewers, 128 hits in that scenario, hitting 289, third in Major League Baseball. The Chicago Cubs right now, just in the National League, 13th in the National League, hitting 233, 476 plate appearances, so almost 30 more plate appearances than the Milwaukee Brewers, only 111 hits. So the Brewers have 17 more hits in 30 less plate appearances with runners in scoring position.
Horrible.
That should tell you a lot about what happened tonight and what has plagued the Chicago Cubs specifically over the last 10 games.
And you can overcome that when you start to slug more, potentially. Yeah. But it will increase both numbers, obviously. They need more slug. And I saw somebody in the chat, I think it was WWE, was yelling at me in all caps to answer some question, but I didn't see the question.
WWE always does caps.
Luke, please answer. Don't skip. Like Kaplan said, we can't wait until the deadline for pitching and bullpen help. Brewers going to be up by 6, but I don't know if they're going to be up by 6. But I do believe the Cubs were going to need to fix that problem before August.
Okay. Jump the trade deadline.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've started to see teams start to add guys and make moves, and we could talk about Lucas Giolito after the break. But overall, this has been a frustrating 48 hours at least for Cubs fans and for the Chicago Cubs. All right, we'll talk about all of it after the break. We'll talk more about the offense, the slug, and ways the Cubs might be able to slow down the slide a little bit before they turn it around. It's next on the CHGO Cubs Podcast.
Hey, Cubs fans, guess what? I'm calling it right now. Summer has officially started, Luke.
Yep.
You got the rainstorms. You got the 70-degree weather. It is the Chicago summer season right now. And if you're going to be checking out your Cubs all summer long, you know what you should probably also check out right now? Bet365, where winning is everything, because right now they have an amazing $150 in bonus bet deal. Here's what you do. First of all, you download the app, you sign up, use code CHGO365. You deposit $10, you place a bet for $5. You automatically get $150 in bonus bets right there on the spot. It's Bet365's early payout. MLB run line payout offer too as well. If your team, like the Cubs, goes up by 5 runs at any point in the game, they'll pay you out there right there on the spot, and it is as simple as that. It's Bet365, where winning is everything. Download that app. Use code CHGO365 for both of these wonderful offers. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 plus or over. Must be physically located in Illinois. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
Hey, everybody. May is Beef Month. Announcing the Bona World Beef Championship. The Stuckmeyers hit Bona twice last week.
Well,
eat or share as much beef as you possibly can during May, National Beef Month. Be the hero. Use the Bona app to order beefs for your friends, family, and office mates. All who reach the championship level of 50 beefs during May will receive 61,400 bonus points of Bona Rewards points, good for beef or any item on the Bona menu. Woo. Get ready to play. Bonus rewards start to accumulate once you've reached 5 beefs.
Like Greg
in
there.
May. The champion also gets a $40 members-only gift card every month for 3 years. Download the Bona app. Bona merch is at merch.bona.com. Details at BUONA.com. Let me tell you, the added addition when you go there in person, rainbow ice cream, baby.
Free smells, too.
Rainbow ice cream. The kids were happy. Beef and ice cream. Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Bet365. Winning is everything. And Toyota Let's Go Places live from the Xfinity Loft. We have a slew of Toyota Super Chats because people are fired up after this Cubs loss, 9-3 to the Brewers at Wrigley Field, snapping their 15-game home winning streak. Toyota Super Chat from Steven first. My disdain towards Hoyer is high right now.
How many runs did Hoyer give up tonight?
Steven with another $2. PCA's maturity is a huge concern. We'll get to that. Chicago James just put out Chicago James. Just gave us the tweet.
Wants
But
a shout out.
whatever you want to say, James, we will say it right after this. What else do we have for a Toyota Super Chat? Oh, he said, if we can't get at least one starter to give us 5 innings, I don't see how we can manage.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, we're going to have to add somebody.
Yep.
That's for sure. Could use a good game from Ben Brown tomorrow. King676 says, fire Carter Hawkins. He's from the Guardians, who developed so many good pitchers. But now look, what is this? And Toyota, look at Steven. He likes $2 at a time, $2 at a time.
I was gonna say,
I'm gonna start calling you $2 Steven, and I love it.
Slip
Fire
Steven.
Dustin Kelly. He doesn't like Hoyer, doesn't like Dustin Kelly, and he's mad about PCA's immaturity. All right, let's get to our Taking the Temp segment. As you can tell, it's a little bit frisky. It's a little bit humid right now. Your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. 4 seasons. Serving the Chicago area for more than 50 years. 4 Seasons, heatingcooling.com for all their special offers, money-saving coupons. That is 4 Seasons, heatingcooling.com. Yeah, it's getting hot under the collar because the Brewers have closed the lead to a half game in the division. Does it make you a little nervous? Why does it make you nervous? This was difficult to go with. A lot of people are pointing their anger tonight at Ian Happ. We started talking about runners in scoring position. This was not a great 48 hours for Pete Crow-Armstrong either. He leads the team in batting it with runners in scoring position. Happ, on the other hand, has not been great. What were the numbers you saw?
Yeah, so actually, Miguel Amaya, who's got less at bats, Miguel Amaya
Is number one, but not an everyday player.
Of the regulars.
Everyday player, PCA, is actually coming through the most with RISP, if you will. Our bottom 2 averages with runners in scoring position are Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah.
And you're batting them 3-4. I fully believe in Seiya Suzuki. I'm sorry, I do. I believe in the guy. I think he's an elite bat when he's right, when he's locked in. I'm at a point right now where, like, I've been screaming for a while. I like Ian Happ as a player in a certain category. I don't like him as a 3 or 4 hitter. I just never have. I don't think I ever will. And for damn sure, I can't have Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki batting back-to-back because exactly what happened in the first inning, and we've seen it happen a lot, where you got opportunities. Nico gets on. Bush gets on. Bregman moves him over. And then Happ took a ball right down the middle, didn't even swing. And then it's just like you can't put those 2 guys there, at least right now, when they're struggling with guys in scoring position, And then Happ came up again, struck out again, came up again, and I believe he just flew out. I mean, it's happening. I sound like a broken record. It's happening way too often. I don't know what it's going to take for Counsell to just not bat him in the middle of the order. I mean, again, I think he's a good player, great defender, and normally a good on-base guy, and he'll get his bombs. I think he still leads our team in home runs. A good player, not a superstar that should be anchoring the middle of our batting order.
It's about the moment, okay? It's not that those are 2 bad players. It's that right now they're both struggling at the same thing at the same time, and you're getting guys on at the top of the order. You're getting those first 2 guys on walking, and you can't walk away with 0.
Cannot.
And it's just like Craig Counsell acknowledged Conforto is batting so well right now that I have to get him some more at-bats.
Yeah.
He's forcing me to get him some more at-bats. Good. I like that he's seen that and acknowledged that. I would also like to see and acknowledge that Happ batting next to Seiya is not working right now.
Yeah.
Do I have the answer for him? No, but I'm not the $8 million manager. I want to see him mix things up now and find a combo that gets everybody back on track. It would be easier if somebody like Dansby or Bush or whoever you're talking about, if Mo Baller was hitting, you need somebody else to jump in and have that number. Right now, nobody's really doing it.
Well, that's been the problem, is that from the moment that Seiya Suzuki got hurt in the WBC, Ian Happ has been miscast in this lineup.
Yes.
He has been all season long. If you roll the clocks back to last year, there were moments when Moises Ballesteros would take cleanup. They started the year with Pete in the 4-5 hole. There was even times last year where they had Carson Kelly hitting cleanup at times, right? Yeah. And so because of Seiya Suzuki not being in there, they put Ian Happ in that spot. Now, to Ian Happ's credit, he does get on base a lot, okay? And no, he does not have the worst runners in scoring position batting average on the team. He's pretty damn close. It's at 150 right now for Ian Happ. It's 122 for Seiya Suzuki. But here is the number that is going to blow your mind. And this is why no matter what it is, you have to say to yourself, you have to separate Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki from each other in the lineup right now. With runners in scoring position in 94 at-bats,
oh boy,
those two players have struck out 46 times.
Yeah.
That is a 50% conversion rate of striking out with runners in scoring position. And there's moments where if it's not one, it's definitely the other. So no matter what happens with runners in scoring position, your 3-4 hitters, you have a 50% chance of one of those guys striking out. At the very least, fundamental baseball lends itself to make contact, good things happen.
Yeah.
And Ian Happ, even when he has made contact, he's grounded into double plays. It hasn't worked out. It's been struggling. And frankly, it's been snowballing in the wrong direction because over the last 2 or 3 days, the amount of backwards Ks that he's had, the ones where he's looking at a pitch because he's just straight up guessing wrong and maybe not protecting the plate because he's trying to get on base, not the hallmark of a 3-4-5 hitter. So, look, these are the guys that you have. You're going to have to ride with them. Sorry, we're not sending either of them down to AAA. We're just not doing it. But you, at the very least, have to come to Jesus or whatever the phrase is. Look in the mirror and say, we have to separate these two guys just for a little while. And it stinks, too, because the guy's shirt that I'm wearing right now, he ain't doing jack. He can't crack his way into the lineup. And if it is Michael Conforto, whatever it is, but you got to start separating these two guys right now because the K rate with runners in scoring position alone, It's devastating right now, and it's killing rallies left and right.
Okay, let me let this soak in for a second. Okay. So you're telling me the stat is when Seiya and Ian Happ have a runner in scoring position, it's a 50-50 chance they're going to strike out.
Correct.
Okay.
Just to be very clear, runners in scoring
50%
position.
50% of the time they strike out.
41 opportunities for Seiya Suzuki. He struck out in 20 of those opportunities. Ian Happ right now, let me just scroll down just really quick. Let's do the numbers. 53 opportunities, 26 strikeouts in those chances.
Yeah, that's
46 out of 94.
That can't continue back to back.
Yeah.
On the fly, I'm thinking out loud right now. What I would like to see starting tomorrow, Nico Horner at the top, Alex Bregman number 2, Michael Busch number 3, and Luke, you're going to love this, but I would go Conforto number 4.
Oh.
And I would go PCA number 5.
So you go righty, righty, lefty, lefty?
I would go.
I don't know if Craig would do that.
Nico, Bregman, Busch, Conforto, PCA. PCA leads our team as a regular in runners in scoring position. So ultimately, because Happ and Suzuki aren't working, and then I would put Seiya, and then I would put Happ. I'm just. It's over. We've got to shake it up a little bit. So let's go. No time like tomorrow. The Miz is not easy, but he's beatable. He's not easy. You can't throw out Happ and Suzuki back to back 3-4 tomorrow and expect. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We have a lot of data here, and it's not working. It's time to change it.
Can I offer this? Michael Busch, Alex Bregman, Seiya Suzuki, Michael Conforto, Nico Horner. Get some more contact, get some slug into the section of the lineup that needs more slug and needs more contact. Conforto at the 4, Nico at the 5. Whatever you want to do at 6 is fine with me. If you want to roll Carson, or that's probably where you put Ian Happ. You probably put Ian Happ at 6. But it's something right now, and just like I know, Justin, that you love Nico at the leadoff spot.
I do.
But here's the thing: is what have we done to Ben Brown? We've pulled Ben Brown from a position of strength and put him into a different role because we need it in this different part right now. I believe enough in Nico Horner that we might have to pull him from a position that I like him. I like him there, but we're just not getting what we're getting at the 3-4-5. At least I have faith that Busch and Bregman can give me some on base early on. You got to hope and pray. We're sinking or swimming with Seiya Suzuki right now. Right. And frankly, let's be honest here right now. This guy is supposed to be a $30 to $35 million player starting next year. We're paying him $20 million this year, right? It's not about moving him around to hide him in the lineup. The dude needs to step up and start playing better. He is a walk-year veteran right now. And he's had some good moments. He was white hot to start the year. He's struggling right now. We know when Seiya gets right, he can be an incredibly dangerous hitter. I'm going to ride sink or swim with Seiya. Maybe we end up at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. I keep Seiya probably in the 3, 4, 5, but I think maybe it's time to start thinking about punting Ian Happ a little bit further down because they got to be separated.
What if the Cubs try to drill where he sets his bat down before he swings it and he picks it up and then he realizes he's got so much time to swing the bat? Maybe that would work. I don't know.
How about Gary Ross? How about call up your hottest hitter in AAA and give this team a spark? Are we at a point right now?
Yeah, that's the answer.
Where it's time to change things up for real, for real.
The 22-year-old that can't slug that just started playing left field like last week. Solution to the season.
I don't know how many solutions are coming from AAA the rest of the year. I really don't. I think most of the solutions are going to have to come via trade from some of those players that are at AAA and AA. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think we're trading to help our offense. I think the trades are strictly for our pitching staff.
Yeah,
so
offense is going to have to fix itself mostly.
I'm gonna take what you just did, and here's my final answer. I'm gonna go Nico, Bush, Seiya, Conforto, Bregman, PCA, Ian Happ. That's where I'm at now. Okay. So you go lefty, righty, lefty, or righty, lefty, whatever. So to mix it up a little bit, but I think I'm with you. Seiya is the guy. Seiya is a 3-hitter, right? He's got to be. He's got to step it up. But it's time to move Ian Happ down and Conforto. Hey, listen, I was the first week of the season cut Conforto. I was wrong. The dude has been balling. Give him the 4 spot and see what happens.
All right, more to come here on the CHGO Cubs podcast, including Tony Andracki. Live from the ballpark at Wrigley Field. He was in the clubhouse. He'll tell us what they said. We'll probably hear some about the PCA comments on the South Side this week, and it's next on the CHGO Cubs podcast. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could have it for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but Justin, 5 years at the same price? It's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together perfectly. Finds and fixes problems before you even know you have them. You can stream the game while the rest of the family is streaming a movie or playing video games or whatever else. All your devices work in perfect harmony at the same time for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No hidden fees. No annual contracts. And Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from me. A lot can change in 5 years. You don't want your Wi-Fi price to change. Lock in your price. Unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity Imagine that. Of course, select plans only. Restrictions apply. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Absolutely. All right. Just this weekend, we had a lot of highs and lows. Friday was high. Saturday was low. Sunday was high and low, high and low, high and low. But you know what? The baseball season is long. Our friends at Sunnyside Dispensary are here to elevate your baseball season. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. If you're down south, we got Champaign for you. If you're up north, we got South Beloit for you and everything in between. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff. Head to their website for only the best under the sun. If you don't want to leave their house, you can order online from your couch, from your bed. We don't care. We got you covered. 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Again, 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. That's HICHGO. HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Bet365. Winning is everything. And Toyota, let's go places. We're live in the Xfinity Loft. Cubs lose 9-3. The 15-game winning streak at home is over. And our friend Steven, $2 Steven has responded to my comment of calling him $2 Steven with another $2 super chat. Very funny. Don't give up your day job, MFers. To which I say, Steven, this is my day job.
We're just doing it at night.
I feel like maybe he was talking to someone else in the chat. Was he talking to us?
No, I think he was talking to me, calling him $2 Steve. Because he likes to comment $2 at a time, which I said I appreciate.
Yeah, we love it, Steve.
His $2 have added up to $10, I think.
This is a very interesting night where people are projecting their frustrations onto the punching bag that is the 3 of us. And honestly, this is what therapy is for. So we're happy to absorb all of your frustrations. Chicago Cubs play a game tomorrow. Let's see what happens. They're struggling right now. And we can take it.
I got to be honest. This is one hell of a birthday show. I'm so glad that we're here to celebrate. No, I'm joking.
All right. Hey, we have boots on the ground. We have Tony Andracki at the ballpark. Our CHGO contributor is there. And Tony was there to witness this, period. Tony, what say you, where do you want to start with this? Do you want to start with the game, or do you want to start with the pregame PCA stuff, if you will?
Game
yes. All right. Beautiful. Let's start with the game. What was there any comment about the runners in scoring position stuff where you get two guys on in the first inning, nobody out, you can't move them, and then the Brewers respond? We felt like that was almost a tone setter for the night right out of the gate.
Yeah, I think it seemed like it possibly could have been. I mean, Sproat was the guy that you want to get to in this series, right? You got Misiorowski coming up tomorrow and Kyle Harrison, who's been awesome on Wednesday. So Sproat, with his near 6 ERA, was the guy that the Cubs wanted to get to. And they had a chance in the first inning. They just weren't able to score. It wasn't until Dansby's homer later in the game. But what Counsell said, he didn't talk about the runners in scoring position specifically, but it was that Sproat kept the ball on the ground. The Cubs beat too many balls into the ground and didn't get them up in the air on a night that the wind was blowing out at 15 miles an hour on average all night. So it was a night you could have hit some homers, had some extra base pop, and they didn't do that until too late in the game when they were already down 8-0.
Tony, a lot to cover, man. A lot to cover, especially after a really disappointing weekend. That was highly entertaining, right, but obviously did not go into the Chicago Cubs' favor in terms of the win column. You walk into tonight, you got Shota Imanaga on the mound. He's been rolling. He's been feeling good. Tonight was a great night for him to exercise some demons of, frankly, some things that he wasn't able to do in October on the field, and then, frankly, things that he wasn't even allowed to do on the field last year when they wouldn't even go to him in a Game 5. What was your takeaway? Was it the pesky Brewers getting after him a little bit? Was it Shota not having his best stuff? Where are you putting your finger on the pulse in terms of Shota Imanaga's performance tonight?
Yeah, it is a good question, because I thought this was a chance for Shota to rewrite his narrative around, especially like you mentioned, last season and the way last season ended, where he had a tough outing against the Brewers in the NLDS in Game 2, and then Game 5 warmed up several times and never even got in the game. And that was also his game to start, that Game 5. That was his turn in the rotation. He didn't get the opportunity, and he'd been their ace. He'd been a huge reason why the Cubs were in first place, and chose a really bad time to have his worst outing of the season. It was unlike the Shota that we've seen all year, and honestly the Shota that we've seen for much of his time in Chicago. He just had no command, or not no command, but he struggled with his command today. And the long ball was a factor, but I was just surprised at some of the misses he had. A lot of 2 and 3 ball counts. Obviously 3 walks was surprising as well. So I just think he didn't have a good feel for his pitches, his command tonight. And it was just a tough draw for the Cubs. I mean, it's 4 guys in a row now where it feels like they've had one of their worst starts of the season. Certainly true for Tyone and Shota now. And they have to turn things around. They need Ben Brown to do that tomorrow night. But concerning trend, I'd say, for the rotation.
How are the fans tonight? I mean, I feel like all of us were very disappointed losing the series to the White Sox, and now you got your arch nemesis, the Milwaukee Brewers, coming to town. Again, your ace is pitching and everything. I felt like I said it on the show earlier. I felt like that first inning really set the tone for us in a very negative way by not scoring when we had such a great gifted opportunity. Did you notice any tenseness in the crowd, or was it just business as usual when it comes to a crowd at Wrigley, or was there something more just a little tense?
I actually was pretty impressed with the crowd, because even when they were down 8-0, Dansby hits a homer, Michael Busch bats in, Nico Horner a couple batters later with that double. It was pretty loud. It wasn't playoff Freddie chant loud, but it was pretty loud. There was a decent amount of energy for a game that already felt in hand that the Brewers were going to win. So I was pretty impressed with that. I didn't feel the tension like you mentioned, but I certainly see it on social media. I certainly see it from people that I know that are Cubs fans and friends and family. And I think it's a tough time in the year for sure. That it's been a little bit of a roller coaster first 7 weeks or so of the season for the Cubs, and it's going to be tough to get back on track right now. The last 2 games of this series are big, but if they lose tomorrow, all of a sudden they're in second place and Milwaukee's in first and leapfrogs them again. So I understand the angst. I didn't necessarily feel it here at Wrigley, but it did feel a little bit like a September game here, an August game here, and not necessarily a mid-May game.
Cool.
You know what's funny is we watched the game obviously on TV. You're there at the ballpark in the press box, and you're talking about the 15 miles an hour wind blowing out of the ballpark. We saw the stat. Councils talked about it. We thought multiple times the Cubs had hit home runs. I thought Bush hit a home run.
Seiya?
I thought Seiya hit a home run. There were multiple ones where we were like, oh, that's gone. And then it was like warning tracker not out. Was the wind swirling, or were they just not really squaring it up like we thought they were, which is possible watching it on TV?
Yeah, I don't know, because there was a couple the Brewers hit too that I thought were going to go out. I think it was Bowers to left field had one, and there's maybe another one too. Terang, I think, had one. So I don't know, because I saw on the broadcast the same. I'm sure you guys did, that it was blowing out and adding 20 plus feet in pretty much every direction. It felt like that here too. The Bowers home run and the Yelich home run to right field certainly were hit hard, and the wind helped that. I don't know that they caused home runs. They were just absolute blasts. But yeah, I was a little surprised too. Honestly, on both of Bush's doubles, I was surprised that the balls didn't get out, because I felt like he got into them pretty good, and wind blowing out to center field, you'd think those were ones that went, but I truly don't know. I don't know what was going on with the wind here.
Yeah, and Tony, we want to talk a little bit about the lineup here just really quick. You were looking at some of the runners and scoring position stats today. It reared its ugly head again today, and specifically with runners in scoring position, in 94 plate appearances combined, Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki have combined for 46 strikeouts. So with a runners in scoring position situation, one of those two players is going to strike out. Now, I know Craig wants to lean on his veterans. I know he wants to have faith, and it's a long season, but man, it just feels like it's not working right now. Do you have any intimation that they could possibly separate those two guys at least? It's not about a benching. It's about a reconfiguration of the lineup, or is this, again, a rough patch that you think Craig is willing to ride out for a little while?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think, Council talked pregame about how he feels like it's a smaller sample, the last 10, 11 games, where they've struggled more with runners in scoring position compared to the first 30-ish, 35 games of the season. So he's leaning more on that. I understand that. My kind of counterpoint to what you're mentioning is who goes in what spot, right? If Happ's not hitting cleanup, if Seiya's not hitting 5, then who's promoted into one of those spots and who gets bumped down? Because I think Bush makes a lot of sense in the 2-hole right now with Ballesteros going cold, and then Nico still makes sense in the leadoff spot. But I don't really know where else to go. It feels like this lineup is just not performing 1 through 9 right now. They don't have a ton of extended rallies. I know they scored a decent amount of runs on Sunday. Friday was a good game, but it just feels like for 2 weeks now that there's not a lot of consistency from a day-to-day, night-to-night basis where you feel like you could trust this guy here or this guy there. And so if you're going to move Happ or Seiya down, and I do understand why you would split them, I don't know who you would put up and who I would feel more confident or comfortable with. Like Carson Kelly sometimes I feel like is the answer, but not always. I don't think PCA is the answer either right now. So I don't know. I feel like there's not really any great answers right now on how to construct a lineup. They just need the guys that are there to perform to perform a little bit better, especially with runners in scoring position. It'll happen. They're in a downswing right now. I don't know when it'll happen, though, and they certainly needed to get it going against the Brewers here.
Tony, go ahead.
Sorry, the crazy thing is that, if you read our chat or you read Twitter, you would never know this is a first-place team. You would never know that they are tied for the second most wins in the National League. You would never know those things, right? And you said you have friends and family texting you. I do as well. It's like the sky is falling, right? How about the players? Are you noticing any difference in the clubhouse or even with Craig's answers? Are you feeling any pressure with this team, or do you just think they understand the season is long, ups and downs, and it's business as usual?
Yeah, they understand. This is a really veteran-laden group, and the guys like Dansby, and you had Bregman into the mix this year, but like Nico, Happ, these guys know that there are going to be ebbs and flows. They're not going to have a 10-game winning streak every other week for the rest of the year. That is conceivable, but really difficult to pull off, right? And teams just do not do that because they run into lulls like this offensively, or the starting rotation one turn through really struggles, or the bullpen, is having issues as we're seeing right now. So it feels like there is a lot of negative for sure. I don't think the players feel that same way. They're going to ride this out. They've been through all of this before. But I will say that it certainly feels like they're disappointed in the losses. And a loss like yesterday, Sunday, is really gut-wrenching. And when you have a chance to win a series like that, it's really tough. And you get that Conforto clutch home run in the ninth, and you feel like things maybe are turning, and then they don't. And then you lose a game like today, and now you got to win against two of the better pitchers in the National League if you want to win this series and stop a skid of 4 straight series losses. So I think they're disappointed from all of that, but I don't think they're like panicking, sky is falling, any of that kind of stuff.
Tony, we still want to ask you a couple quick questions about PCA, but we have to take a break. Can you stick around for 2 more minutes?
Sure.
Tony Andracki coming back right after a quick break here on the CHGO Cubs podcast.
The Fanatics app is an all-in-one destination for every part of your sports fandom. Get official gear for your favorite teams like the Cubs and players, including the latest drops, exclusive releases, and must-have merch all in one place. My most recent jersey is a PCA jersey. I'm trying to think of my next jersey. Sarah got me thinking about buying a Palencia jersey. That might be the move that I do. It's more than just shopping. You can play free daily games in the app to earn fan cash, which then you can spend on jerseys, game tickets, collectibles, and more. My son's birthday is tomorrow, and he is so into baseball cards. Get notified about the latest trading card drops like Topps Chrome NFL, Cosmic Chrome Basketball, Topps Chrome Black Baseball, and much, much more. Check out free games in the Fanatics app, and it's all in one place. All built for fans like you, like Joey, like me, like Luke. Download the Fanatics app and start cashing in on your fandom. Get it today at allchgo.com/fanatics. App access open to all. 21 plus to play. No purchase necessary. U.S. only. Void where prohibited. Again, that is allchgo.com/fanatics.
Hey, all small business owners out there, lend me your ears because this one is for you. When your company is growing fast, what does it come down to? Order fulfillment, right? It can make or break your success. That's where ShipStation comes into play. It is a driven platform that brings order management, rate shopping, inventory and returns, warehouse systems, and comprehensive analytics all into one place, saving customers over 15 hours per week on their fulfillments. With ShipStation, everything you need to manage getting orders to customers is in one place. Connect over 200 different sales channels instead of 5 to 7 disconnected tools. ShipStation brings it all into one. Set up time-saving automations right now with ShipStation because they pick the best carrier, they find you the best rate, they print labels in bulk, and they send tracking updates. Boom, baby, done. 1 million businesses have trusted ShipStations to try yours for 60 days with full access to all their features. No credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com and use code CHGO for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you are saving on every shipment. ShipStation.com is the place to go. Code CHGO is the code you want to use for ShipStation today.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast after a 9-3 loss to the Brewers, where there was a ton of news at the ballpark today. Pete Crow-Armstrong was on social media. Everybody was talking about him today, all over the country. Every baseball fan had an opinion about this. Tony, what was PCA's reaction to being recorded? The confrontation he had with a fan on the south side on Sunday. And I saw some other videos with other fans throughout the game and throughout the weekend. And do you think, or do you know if any of his teammates talked to him about all of it?
I don't know about the teammates specifically. It's entirely possible. I know that Counsell did. I know some other members of the Cubs organization had conversations with him, and he wanted to come out and address this today himself and apologize. Maybe he didn't actually apologize, but he took ownership of using the wrong words, using the wrong phrasing. And that's what he said he regrets the most, is how he chirped back at that fan. He doesn't necessarily regret chirping back and talking back and kind of standing up for himself, but he doesn't like the words that he used. And he felt, that the women in his life feel like he's, better than that, and that he didn't come on and say these words, but it's something that he doesn't want anybody else to feel like that is his true character and who he is all the time. So he considered it a bad moment. He knows that he has to learn from it, grow from it. And he also wanted to get out there and show that this isn't what the Cubs are about. This isn't what this locker room and clubhouse is about. So he wanted to own it. And I think he did own that. I do think that he was also, honest about the fact that he hears this kind of stuff and he wants to say things at times, but he let the moment get away from him and it was a little bit too heated. And that's something that he has to learn from and move forward with.
I think, is there anything else you want to talk about? I know, because I know Joey's got thoughts on this. And we're gonna you don't have to sit through all the thoughts, Tony, because we got some thoughts coming up here on this.
Tony, real quick tomorrow, the Miz versus Ben Brown, right? Big opportunity for Ben Brown. What would you anticipate his pitch count will be? Like, we've seen him gradually increase a little bit. Do you think that what's the phrase? Do you think he's going to be...
The moment?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, is he going to be untethered? Are they going to try and push him to 70, 80 pitches? Or do you think they're going to still try and keep it in that 60 to 70 mark for what could be a really cool primetime pitching matchup?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go untethered quite yet. They and Craig Counsell specifically see the big picture, and they always do. They're not going to push their chips all in for this win on a Tuesday night. I will say if Brown is able to get 15 outs tomorrow, I think that's huge. My big concern is how the Cubs bridge the gap to Palencia after that. And I don't really know right now in the bullpen with some of the answers they have. And then also on the other end is how many pitches do they make Misiorowski throw and how deep into the game does he go? So I think it's going to be an awesome matchup tomorrow, and there could be a ton of strikeouts, which is really great to see. But yeah, I don't know what the upside fully is for Brown. I think 15 outs is probably about the best that you can expect from him. We're sort of in the area that we saw with Cade Horton last year, at least right now. I think that will change. But we're looking at, probably 70, 75 pitches for Brown tomorrow as he continues to get built up. And then the Cubs bullpen is going to have to cover possibly as much as 5 innings tomorrow night.
Tony, we appreciate everything you do for us. Be looking for your stuff at allchgo.com and drive home safely. Hope we have better results tomorrow in the game. Appreciate it, Tony.
Thanks, guys.
So let's get to the PCA stuff because I've seen the chat already commenting on it, and I'll respond to a couple things just to start us off. I've seen it happened, shouldn't have used the B word. Let's move on. To that, I would respond, Craig, that's what we're doing. I'm not going to talk about this 3 weeks from now. I'm not going to talk about 4 weeks from now. It happened yesterday. He responded tonight. It's part of this podcast, whether we like it or not. And then I saw someone else in the chat say it was smack talk, which I respect. If that's your opinion, smack talk. I know for you, Joey, and I'm going to agree, I think, with almost everything you say. It wasn't just smack talk. It wasn't just smack talk. And he did need to be talked to by a teammate. And I think the reason I asked Tony what I did is because I saw multiple points tonight where PCA was frustrated with a play, and I saw him grab the bat and go to throw the bat, and I could see the wheels turning in his head as if to say, one of my veterans talked to me. My manager talked to me.
Right.
Other people in the organization have talked to me. Some of this can't continue. I defend PCA all the time, especially against Brewer fans. He is not the player that a lot of people around the league, whether it's Milwaukee or St. Louis, the rivals, think he is. He is very thoughtful. So I will say that I was appreciative of the words that came out of his mouth today, much more so than I was the ones that came out on the south side.
Right. And so, I've been thinking about this a lot last night and a lot of discussion in the office today about it. And the dude's on my computer. You know what I mean? So, and anyone that tunes into the show, we've talked a lot about our belief that we have in Pete Crow-Armstrong and also given him a lot of compliments about what we find to be an introspective, thoughtful person for a 23, 24-year-old. But I am going to be honest with you, and I appreciated very much what Pete Crow-Armstrong said today because I'm in lockstep with what Pete Crow-Armstrong said. And to be honest with you, what Pete Crow-Armstrong did on Sunday was total bullshit. I'm sorry. We can't have it. There has to be a standard. And for a guy that is trying to be everything that he's supposed to be right now for the organization, we have to introduce Pete Crow-Armstrong to something called the high road, okay? We can have a conversation if we want to about fans when they buy a ticket, what crossing the line is for them and what they are and what they can and can't get away with. We've been having that conversation with a lot of things since like the 40s, 50s, and 60s with Major League Baseball about fans saying awful things to other players, though. What we cannot have, though, is my $115 million center fielder saying something sexually derogatory towards a female fan at a game, okay? There has to be a separator when we say to ourselves that Pete Crow-Armstrong, frankly, crossed the line. I'm not trying to cancel Pete. I'm not going to, unsubscribe to being a fan of Pete Crow-Armstrong right now. But this is certainly a teaching moment for Pete Crow-Armstrong and something that we just can't condone. Something that's personal for me, all right? I don't like using that word, all right? I don't like using that B word, all right? I don't have it in my life. Other people use it in terms of endearment. And if you want to put this trash talk thing and other people intimating that what I'm saying is soft, what I think is soft is telling people like me to just shut up about it instead of me trying to call it out for what it is, that Pete crossed the line. If MLB tomorrow still came down and said, you know what, we're going to sit your ass down for a game, I'm fine with it because MLB at least sends the message that don't do it again, all right? There's a lot of different things. Look, in the game, he throws a guy out at third base, does the boom, and then says F you to the player. Within the white lines, right, the nuance of it, I can get on board with. The Dodgers guy cursing at Miguel Amaya, I can get it. But when it extends to someone saying that straight into the face of fans, which I think Pete recognizes now because there's kids that watch him and there's women also that he indirectly have hurt by saying those comments, I think he gets it all. But again, another learning moment, another mistake for Pete Crow-Armstrong that I think he'll get past. So I just wanted to get that off my chest that, like, it bothered me. And I'm a fan of Pete Crow-Armstrong, all right? But I can't sit here and just wipe away every single thing that the dude does. Like, helmet toss, bat toss, okay. The other part about it is I just can't have that type of behavior, all right? And if you want to chalk it up to Cubs Sox and say it's some fun little civic rivalry, all right, well, you know what? It's not that fun. Explain to me what is exactly fun about Pete Crow-Armstrong cursing at someone on their bachelorette party, all right? Like, I just don't understand it. I think it was wrong. I think Pete's going to learn from it. And if they suspend him for a game, I won't be upset.
I think there are two lines that can be crossed usually at this game. I believe, from what I've heard, the fan crossed the line potentially. Mm-hmm. And I know that Pete crossed the line as the face of a franchise yelling that at a fan. Fans don't just get to say whatever you want because you paid for a ticket.
Especially the ones behind when he's on the on-deck circle. What they said about his mom, again, crosses the line. Can fans do a better job policing our community and go and get an usher and have these people escorted out for saying something that vile? Yes. And maybe it was boiling over for Pete. Maybe he's young. Maybe it was heat of the moment. But sometimes when people get angry, it also reveals a little character. And that's where I'm disappointed in Pete, because in some way it debased him to say something like that to a female fan.
Having been in a lot of clubhouses, and I want to get Sarah's take on this too, having been in a lot of clubhouses, this was what I think was said today. Maybe by a Bregman, maybe by a Dansby, maybe it was by Happ. I don't know who the player would have been. Somebody on that team definitely had this conversation. Number one, you represent all of us. Mm-hmm. So when you say that to a fan, now everybody around the country thinks the Cubs say that to fans. Not acceptable. Mm-hmm. You are part of a team, and when you do something, you represent us. So that can't happen. That's number one. Number two, you're a professional. There is a difference. Fans should be escorted out if they're saying something about her. And I'm not saying it's the first time. I know it happens all the time because I've heard it. But fans should be escorted out when they cross the line. Mm-hmm. Players should be held responsible if they're overreacting to it. There was an easier way to do it. You could have called the umpire over and said this. You could have addressed it earlier in the game. You could just address it after the game. Or, as my father taught me, sometimes you can be the stronger person by saying nothing.
High road.
Zero. High road. Take the high road. If you want to get the fan in trouble, fine. But it doesn't make you weak for not saying something.
Right.
Not in my eyes. The weaker person is not the person that quietly takes it and goes about doing their job and acts like a professional. The weaker person is the person that lowers themselves to the level of the other person. I don't want to see that from my star center fielder. Is it over after today? It's over after today. He's already addressed it. I won't talk about it again, but I think he knows, hopefully, that this was the line, and maybe this is where he starts. I don't have a problem with all the other stuff that goes on, but I would like to start seeing him stop throwing the bat and being more of a professional. I love him as a player. I think he's a really good person from what I can tell. This was a low moment.
I'm going to quickly, because I'm not going to take us to overtime. I completely agree with Joey. I completely agree with Luke. He is a professional ball player. I think it shows a level of immaturity that he can't control his emotions in those heated moments. When you are a $115 million paid player, you are representing the Chicago Cubs. You are representing also your own image and your brand. And yeah, I think this is, again, a learning experience for him. And I hope he's a better person because of this experience, and I hope he learns from this.
That's right. Hope we don't see it again. Hope we do see you tomorrow, though, when hopefully the Cubs beat the Brewers and the Miz.
Oh.
Until then, please fly the W.
Oh, please.
We all silly like the mayor.